Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am coming to you today with a brand new video and a video series that I've wanted to do for a very long time. You know, it's so funny. I'm constantly telling people who create content, like my number one tip of advice is like, make things that you want to make, that like makes you happy and that is fun. Well, I'm finally taking some of my own advice and I am starting a new video series here on my channel. I don't know how often I'm actually gonna make these videos, but I have had a strong desire to make these videos, so I'm going to make them. I am starting a nail art series of videos, uninspiringly titled Nailed It. Ignore the boxes of chaos happening behind me. My studio is in a state of blah right now. So yeah, from time to time, I really enjoy some good old nail art, especially with the pandemic. I've been super into doing my nails at home, but even pre-pandemic, I really love painting press-on nails. And this is something that I have done for many years, usually for like special events, something that I'm gonna go do, or like a cosplay. When I would go to Comic-Con every year, I usually would do like a full like themed set of hand-painted nails. If I could find it, I did a really cool set of Rick and Morty nails. I will put them in here somewhere. But yeah, I've just, over the years, I've really enjoyed painting tiny little press-on nails and just having it for a good time. You know, I consider nail art just one of my random hobbies, mainly because I like painting tiny things. And you guys know I work small in my traditional art. So it makes sense that it would cross over into nail art as well. So that said, welcome to the first installment of Nailed It. For our first set of nails, I am painting Haunted Mansion inspired nails. Yes, after Disney's Haunted Mansion. We recently went to Disneyland, so of course I had to go full send on my favorite attraction, which is the Haunted Mansion. So I wanted to do a fun set of Haunted Mansion nails. So I'm gonna walk you through. I'm watching the footage just the same way you are here, and I'm gonna take you through how I painted them, basically. Let me also just add here as we start, I need to put some fine print in here. I am by no means a nail professional. I am not a licensed technician. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I use a very strange and amateur mix mosh of materials. Basically, don't come for me for nail advice. I just like painting tiny things, okay? Okay. Here we go. So to start things off, I have my little set here, and I just bought like a big bag of like cheapy press-ons, and that's usually what I use. I prep them a little bit, so I make sure that, you know, I pick out the ones that are gonna fit each finger. I will trim them and file them down and get them to the right shape and size that I want for my nails. Once I have my full set ready to go, I then use this super advanced technique of attaching them with a toothpick and a kneaded eraser. This is how I hold them to work on them. It is incredibly challenging. Obviously, I'm painting a very tiny canvas here. So in order to do that, I need to put them onto a stick. And this is how I do it, is with toothpicks and a kneaded eraser. Like I said, I am not a licensed nail professional. Do not come to me for nail advice. All right, so once I've got them attached to my sticks for painting, I'm putting a base coat on all of them. I used some white nail polish to just put a white base on everything, and then I had just a base color on top of that because I had just kind of a general plan of what I wanted to do design-wise, and I was inspired by a few things. Most of the nails you'll see are gonna be that green and black stripe pattern that you see the cast members wearing who work on the attraction, and that's one of my favorite patterns. It's my favorite costume in the park, so I definitely wanted to include that. So the majority of the nails are going to be that pattern. Then I wanted to have a couple of accent nails, and I wanted to have something that was a little nod to the stretching room portraits. Then I wanted to do the Hatbox Ghost, and I wanted to do a Madame Leota. So you can see most of the nails are prepped in one solid color, that like greenish, because I'm preparing for the black stripes. And then you can see where my accent nails are with just black polish and then the white polish as well. You'll see I like to use acrylic paint, which I probably do not recommend because you really have to make sure things dry, and these nails are just for fun. It's usually like a one-time use. Sometimes I save them and I'll wear them again, but usually it's a one-time use. It's not like for everyday nail usage. That's why it's not a big deal that I use acrylic paint. Again, do not come for me I am not a nail professional, thank you. So moving on to the accent nails, the first accent nails that I decided to do was the stretching room portrait print, and I wanted to do the parasol girl pattern. So I have kind of like that big chunky pinky at the bottom, and then that kind of green starbursty flowery looking print on the upper part of the nail. I just thought having like something that was a lighter pattern compared to everything else might be a fun little pop, and it was a good way to just warm up painting super tiny as well. So I wanted to keep that really simple and not be painting, you know, some giant alligator or a barrel of dynamite. You get what I'm talking about. Moving right along, then I get to the main sort of nail pattern, which was the cast member costumes. So I've got that beautiful dark green, which is actually acrylic paint. I had to mix to get the right color. Now listen, I know I should be using nail polish from start to finish, and at some point I will. I just haven't amassed a large enough nail polish collection to really make this happen yet. I also think for future nail designs, I will plan out ahead of time and I'll buy just specifically bottles of nail polish so that I'm not doing it with acrylic paint, but it's fine. So I used the dark green as an acrylic paint mixture, and then the black is actually is acrylic ink. These are the materials I'm comfortable with, okay? It's not nail polish. I should be using nail polish, but I'm not. I even have black nail polish. What was I thinking? It's fine. And then of course I painted the stripes on. The cast member costumes have basically chunky stripes with a very thin stripe in between. So using my tiny, tiny, tiny detail brushes, I got those little stripes in, and I was really quite pleased with the way that those look. And it looks especially good with the top coat, which you'll see at the very, very end. Now for the more detailed accent nails, I wanted to do a Hatbox Ghost and a Madame Leota. And I wanted them to have kind of the same sort of color palette, so at least my fingers looked somewhat balanced. I know, I'm putting so much thought into this nail design. It's like so silly, but it's fine. So the Hatbox Ghost I started with first, and with any kind of nail art designs like this, you really just kind of have to go for it. So I usually like to try to capture the general like shape and base color first by just kind of using a reference image and just kind of looking and just trying to get it all in like just layers at a time. So just using some white paint, you can see I'm capturing the shape of the Hatbox Ghost kind of face, his hat, and kind of the overall contour that I will then detail on top of. I think I added some blue paint on top of it as well to capture that like Haunted Mansion light blue white fog color that you see so often in like ghosts and stuff. Once that base coat is on and I have a couple of layers and it's nice and opaque, then I can do all the detailing on top. And that of course is all done with a teeny tiny paintbrush and some acrylic ink, some black acrylic ink. And this is my favorite part, is just freehanding drawing the faces or details or whatever it is that I'm doing directly onto that little kind of base contour that I create. This is definitely my favorite part. It's obviously the most challenging because there's kind of no turning back once you've started. You can always touch up with other paint on top, but I just really, this is my favorite part of probably the whole process. Obviously I detail his face out. I then use some white paint to come in and kind of just fill out his eyes a little bit, add a couple of highlights, and then of course add the fun little Hatbox Ghost wispy hair that I think really makes it what it is. I think the hair is what made it a more recognizable image. Then some tiny eyes and he is good to go. Okay, last but certainly not least, the other accent nail I decided to do was Madame Leota. And to keep the color palette the same, I decided to do Tombstone Leota, not the floating ball, more blue purpley Leota. If you know the Haunted Mansion, you know what I'm talking about. How many times can I say Leota? But with Tombstone Leota, she's more of that like bluish green sort of look, so I thought that it would pair well with the look of my Hatbox Ghost. So just like my Hatbox Ghost, I've captured the overall sort of contour, creating that base layer, building up the paint in that same sort of white blue hue, detailing with the black acrylic paint on top. And then once I had the black acrylic in and kind of her overall face kind of lines in place, I did come back in with a little bit of a green to add that kind of rust accent to it. It's a very subtle detail, but I think it helps kind of really capture that look of her face that's on the tombstone. And if you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about, but adding that little bit of green in there really helped. Then I came in with a little bit of white on top just to help kind of blend the green in and add some highlights all over. And of course, to finish the whole set, and another favorite part of mine is putting the clear coat on all of the nails. You can of course use any kind of regular, I'm giving advice. Why am I giving advice? This is not the place for nail advice. You can use any clear top coat, and it actually really helps kind of add that shine and kind of like, especially with the acrylic paint, it actually like smooths things out and makes it look really, really good. So you can use just a regular top coat, but I like to use the Ahura gel top coat. My day-to-day nails, I really love the Ahura gel nail strips. So I have the gel top coat, and sometimes I will use that top coat on top of other polish and things, and it looks particularly good on this. It just like adds that little bit of extra shine. It makes the nails nice and hard, and I cure all of them under a little LED light, and they look nice and pretty, and it's so satisfying to see that top coat go on, and it really makes a huge difference. So there it is. There is the full completed set with all of the little nails on. I put these bad boys on the day before we went to Disney, but I was really happy with how they turned out. It was a fun set. I really loved the green and black stripes. Honestly, I feel like that's just like a nail that I would rock every day, to be honest. I just love it so much. I should have taken photos of them in front of the Haunted Mansion, but I of course did not do this, so there's that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, my first of hopefully a series of nail art videos. I know I definitely have some Toy Story nails in my future for my son's birthday coming up. Toy Story nails are on the horizon, that's definitely happening. But I would love to hear any suggestions or challenges from you of what nails you'd like to see me paint. You also know how much I love these Ahura nails, and I think I've converted a number of you to these nails as well. If you want like a tutorial or tips of how I put these bad boys on, let me know. This is just a fun, semi-nerdy hobby that I really enjoy. Tiny, tiny paintings on nails. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. Anywho, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!